When retired veteran Mike O'Connor first walked into the Richmond Animal Care Centre, the cold breeze rattled the siding and carried with it the distant echo of his boots on concrete. He wasn't expecting a mission, but then he saw Tank, an enormous Great Dane, so heavy he could barely hold himself upright. Tank's deep, brown eyes brimmed with silent pleading, as if asking, "How did I end up here?" Watching those sad eyes, Mike felt a tug in his chest that told him their lives were about to change. And yet, neither of them could have guessed how profound that change would become. Late autumn winds whisked the last yellow leaves off the trees as Clara Matthews strode toward the shelter's automatic doors. Inside, colleagues Sarah and Jason were huddled at the front desk, whispers of concern dancing between them. A well-dressed woman tapped designer boots against the linoleum, her impatience slicing the air. Beside her, Tank swayed on unsteady legs. Sarah's voice remained calm, but firm as she asked for medical history, only to be met with Linda Pearson's curt insistence. "His name is Tank. My mother died 3 months ago. I don't want him anymore." Clara's heart clenched. Despite capacity limits, the silent desperation in Tank's eyes made her decision for her. We'll take him," she said, and in that moment, a lifeline was thrown. Dr. Martinez's examination that afternoon painted a stark picture. 185 pounds of overweight peril. Tank's joints groaned under the strain, his heart laboured with each breath, and without intervention, his prognosis was grim. As twilight settled, Clara huddled by her computer, crafting a plea that would ripple through the internet. Amidst Tank, a gentle giant seeking a special hero for a second chance, she hesitated over the final words. No, seeking a miracle. Before deciding on something simpler and truer. With a quiet prayer, she hit a post and waited. By dawn, Clara's phone buzzed endlessly. Thousands had shared Tank's story, but one message stopped her scroll. Mike O'Connor, a veteran living nearby, with years of rescue experience and a heart as open as his profile's photos. He wanted to meet Tank. The shelter buzzed with cautious optimism as Clara arranged their introduction for the next morning. Mike arrived punctually in his well-kept pickup, a slight limp a testament to his service. He introduced Scout, his rescue Labrador, and Sergeant as shelter-born cat ruling the roost. As they approached Tank's kennel, Mike knelt down, ignoring discomfort, and spoke softly about the weather, his day, anything to put Tank at ease. After a moment's hesitation, Tank pressed his nose through the bars, sealing a bond neither man nor dog saw coming. The home visit followed, with Mike presenting vet references, yard photos, and even a landlord's letter approving a large dog. He lived alone. Well, with Scout and Sergeant, he laughed. But his calm confidence felt like exactly what Tank needed. After careful review, the shelter greenlit the adoption. On pickup day, Mike unveiled a homemade ramp for Tank's loading baboo. With Clara and Jason's steady hands guiding, Tank eased into the truck, confusion mingling with trust. Clara handed Mike a care packet, diet charts, exercise tips, vet contacts, and Mike's promise rang clear. "I'll keep you updated. Hey, I'll keep you updated." The thought of a Facebook page floated between them, a living record of hope. Tank's first days at home were a symphony of small victories and adjustments. Out cordially sniffed his new housemate, while Sergeant observed from lofty perches. Non-slip mats covered gleaming hardwood, and Tank's bowls sat atop raised platforms. But nighttime brought a mountain, 3 porch steps. With a special harness, Mike coaxed and encouraged, finally sitting beside Tank as the giant rested his head on Mike's shoulder. In the hush, they forged a bond deeper than any words. Thus was born a Tank's second chance on Facebook, chronicling every wobble, every triumphant step. Dr. Sarah Chin, a veterinary nutritionist, designed a careful diet, measured meals, balanced nutrients. And now, exercises began with a trek to the end of Mike's driveway, each return trip an achievement. A kiddie pool became Tank's splash haven in the Virginia heat. Laughter bubbling from Mike as the water danced around Tank's paws. Milestones piled up like breadcrumbs. Tank circled the block, climbed the steps alone, even tussled gently with Scout in a brief game of tug. But setbacks came too. Hot spots flared on his skin, joint pain stiffened his gait, and some mornings he refused to rise. In those moments, Mike read aloud from whichever book lay nearest, his voice a soft anchor. Clara made weekly check-ins, marvelling at Tank's growing spirit. The sparkle returned to Tank's eyes whenever Mike reappeared from the local veteran centre, and even Sergeant's wary stares thawed into domestic camaraderie. Word spread beyond Richmond. The Times-Dispatch ran a moving feature, national outlets followed, and Tank's story became a beacon for proper pet care. 1 year later, the shelter hosted a celebration. Tank, now 145 pounds and wearing a Second Chances bandana, basked in applause. Linda Pearson arrived, impeccably dressed, her composure faltering as she watched the dog she once abandoned. Tank nudged her hand, forgiveness unspoken. Linda whispered, "My mother would have loved this," and Mike, embodying grace, simply smiled, "Everything's as it should be." Beyond weight loss lay life's simple joys, chasing beach waves beside Scout, sprawling on the couch with Sergeant nestled by his side, or leaning into Mike's leg as dawn light spilled through the window. Each quiet moment spoke of how far they'd come. Inspired, adoptions of older and special needs pets soared, and Tank visited schools and veteran centres, teaching compassion in every wag and gentle nudge. 3 autumns after that first day, Mike and Tank co-hosted a pet health fair at the shelter. Tank, a fit 140 pounds, sat proudly as vets, trainers and advocates shared knowledge. They inaugurated the Tank Second Chance Fund, already underwriting care for dozens of animals. As the fair wound down, Mike walked Tank and Scout around the neighbourhood, Tank bounding effortlessly up those once daunting porch steps, while Sergeant watched from the window, a nightly ritual of welcome. In the glow of early evening, the 3 friends settled into their living room, tableau, Tank on his favourite cushion, Scout at his feet, Sergeant perched on the armrest. Mike reflected on the journey, how a single act of compassion rippled outward, touching lives far beyond one overweight dog's transformation. Each social media post, now numbering over 50,000 followers, echoed with the message that sometimes the biggest miracles come in unexpected packages. As Richmond's sun dipped below the horizon, Tank drifted into sleep, head resting on Mike's knee. The path had been winding, the challenges steep, but every step had been worth it. Together, they had shown that second chances aren't just possible. They can be transformative for everyone they touch. And so, with the soft rise and fall of Tank's breath, their story promised yet another chapter.